I think maybe even Dirty Jersey Rat. Dirty Jersey. Yay! I love that song.
Have you ever done mushrooms, Ava?
Yes, I just did them for the first time in a few months this last weekend.
Oh yeah, and how was it? Because I did it once. Well, I've done like microdosing before, and nothing ever happened. I felt like a little, but one day someone sold me an eighth, and I took the whole eighth, and it was like the fucking craziest, most terrifying night of my life.
You have to do, like, I used to do it like almost like it's church. So like every 2 months I would take like an eighth, and when you do that enough, it's never a bad trip. It's because you just start facing everything that could be a bad trip, and then it starts becoming this positive thing where you actually are able to like see outside of your, mundane bullshit that you're stressed out about and make plans about bigger things. That's what made me go back to college. It was like on a mushroom trip. It's what made me think to ask John if I could come on his show the first time. Yeah, it's just you get out of your.
I think that's what made me go to rehab, because I started like no, I really, because it was like right before I went to rehab. So I think that that was one of the things that contributed, not because I was fucked up on mushrooms, but I was looking at how chaotic and bizarre my life was, and I was like reflecting on it, and it was like, wow, I'm like, I really live a fucking chaotic, shitty like life.
Dude, yeah, no, I absolutely understand that. Yeah, that's the way to like check yourself on things, for sure.
Yeah, so I would say mushrooms aren't all that bad, and even with the podcasting too, because I was thinking, why am I doing these podcasts to bury myself? And that's when I took the green screen and threw it out the door and ripped it up, and it was nuts. Because at that moment, I told myself I was never podcasting again, and that was when I was on mushrooms. I tell people that's why I don't have a green screen anymore. Because
what was the green screen made out of to rip it apart? Because aren't they like canvas? The one I have is canvas. Like it would be
mine was more of like a cloth type of. I don't know. It was on like what are those, like the stand thing, and I ripped that and snapped it in half. All I know is I threw it out the door, and it was, I found it when I woke up the next day. I found it all in pieces all over there, so I just put it out with the garbage.
Well, like, yeah, once you are past the self-improvement areas of it, then mushrooms are good at like aesthetics too, with art and video and things like that, where you can kind of point out things that are lame that you didn't realize that you were doing.
Yeah.
But for me, it's a good checkpoint of like, I hadn't done mushrooms like basically since I started joining the Dabbleverse, and you see, and it showed, because when I went on this last mushroom trip, it makes you realize how cruel you, like, if I don't do mushrooms like a few months, I'll get into cycles where I'm just being mean like that, and it's like you can see it directly and then challenge yourself on it.
So you said doing mushrooms made you do John's show? That's what made me stop doing John's show.
Mushroom, because it's like when I got like a normal job and just started having a routine, it's what takes you out of that, and then reminds you that there's like these bigger goals you would have. So like for me, it was that, and then just he was on, and it was like, why don't I just email him and ask if I can come on his show? And then I did, and then he had me on the show, and then here we are. I don't know if that's a positive thing for me at this point, but like, yeah, it's just what makes you. It takes you out of that space and makes you like challenge yourself to take risks in life.
You just said you don't know if that was a positive thing or not. Do you think just being part of the Dabbleverse and being on John's show, would you take that all back? Do you think it's been like a good thing overall for you?
It's been positive. Getting to meet John has been a very special. Like, it's just been this 1 year. It's been like, I think a year ago. Yeah, absolutely love that I met him and went through this. There's like, obviously you like reflect on it and you're like, oh, I wish I wouldn't have gotten in a certain amount of fights, or I would, you never want to just look back and think about the fights, but anything about with John, I absolutely like don't regret at all. I love that I met him. I love John. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems, well, with John, it seems like you do, like he's actually like friendly with you. Like with people with me, like I know John got upset because I said I didn't consider him a close friend, but I didn't, like, anytime John reached out to me off the air, it was always Dabbleverse related. Is that the same with you, or you guys talk about other things besides Dabbleverse?
I was on a break with him since he left, and then I started speaking with him again just recently. It is, it was Dabbleverse at times, but like a lot of those calls weren't. But I understand your sentiment. The way that I ended up going on his show was he had me on his show once to talk about trans things, and then I just wanted to talk to him. And then I went on Chili's show and betrayed him. And so he was gone for months, and then he came back and he had me on his show to like confront me about it. And what he said to me was that like it actually hurt his feelings, like, and that he considered me to be, you know, he like liked and respected me, and I just refused to believe that. But I think he really does. Like, this is like, I'm sure he looked at you as I know that he looked at you as a friend and was hurt by that. But I can understand why you felt the way that you did, because I didn't realize that he considered me a friend either.
How did that go back? Going back on the show after the Shuli Network? Like, did you contact him and say like you wanted to talk about this?
No, that was what's so weird is like I was on his last show and then he left. So it was only when he came back that I felt what it's like for him to exist, because I didn't used to watch Dabbleverse things. And he just started bringing me up on his show, like, and then after the fourth time I like super chatted and like stop whining or something.
Right.
And then he just had me on, and then he just brought up that it upset him what I did, and which is understandable because I did betray him. So, but then he just like, we just had a camaraderie, and then but then everyone attacked me and turned on me like on the other end of it. So yeah, it was just, he had me on, but he wasn't a big asshole about it, you know?
Well, like, I mean, the thing, I mean, did you really believe that I was because I felt like I was going on these other shows. Everybody had me, and I was mainly going on, not to trash John, but I would just go on because people were asking about the sobriety, and I thought it was like a nice message. And he was being fine, and I was like, yeah, I probably won't be doing John's show a lot. I know he's going to be upset that I did these shows. But then he went on one day the whole Rob Soulless rant, and he was saying it's because you had informed him that I'd been trashing him.
Right.
I mean, you consider that trashing? Just saying, like, people were asking, like, do you think John has a drinking problem? Like, I don't know. If he wants help, you know, maybe he should get help. I don't know. But if he doesn't want it, who am I to, like, you know, force someone to, you know, what I'm doing?
Absolutely. Like, you and Grillo came back in a similar situation. I truly believe that what ended up happening between you guys was a lot of you guys not watching each other and then reacting to what people told you. And I did tell him that, in the sense, not that like as far as maybe you and I are concerned would be trashing, like the things that he considers trashing are not what I would consider trashing. You would have to like really go way deeper to make me feel like you trashed me. But like what you were saying was trashing him to as far as he was concerned. So when I told him that it wasn't like that I was ratting you out, he just didn't realize that you were saying what you were saying, and you were saying things that pissed him off, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that he should get mad about that, but that's what happened. I think it's tragic what happened with you two, because I really don't think either of you intended to.
Well, no, I never
have problems with each other, and it just kind of, you know. That's
what I don't like, because a lot of people are saying, I think even Carl said it on a show once, he said something like, that I came back from rehab and was like, hey, everybody, I hate John now too. Give me money. And it was like, I didn't come back. I came back with no intentions of feuding with John or telling everybody I hate John. But yeah, then I started getting venomous once I was getting sent the clips of John every day, you know, talking about that I'm going to relapse and I'm a piece of shit and all that. So, you know, and then I started getting nasty. But I mean, it wasn't this whole grifting scheme for me to come back and trash John and try to make a buck off of it.
I didn't think that that's what you were doing, and I don't think that's what he thought you were doing. I think it really was that he just saw a few clips of you saying things and then got mad and was like, fuck you, and then just, you know, went. Yeah. I think both of you did that to each other, because you and him can be very vicious, and so it was, and you guys, but I don't think he thought that you came back to trash him. I think I truly know that he didn't. There's like a week or two of it where he really wasn't like angry with you when he came back, and he was like, yeah, I'm glad he's sober. And then unfortunately, like
it seemed like everybody was happy I was sober, but then everybody everybody changed their mind about it.
The thing about him being happy, Rob was sober, and John does like he started to say that like Rob was saying he was better than him. Do you think like Rob really put that out there, or that's I know you're friends with John, so I don't want you to say like anything.
No, what I think happened is like I've been very close friends with people that came out of. Is he gone?
I'm here. Just my camera is fixing.
He'll be back.
I can still hear you.
Like, and I'm sure you've dealt with this, Rob, where it's like I've been friends with people that come out of that situation, and then you have friends that still fucking drink and might have a drinking problem.
Yeah.
And there's just the micro dynamics there where you could tell maybe someone's kind of like, oh, look at you. I think he's in that category. Whereas like I think me and I was very happy for you going sober, but yeah, I think he's not gonna like go the extra way because he's gonna think about himself in that situation because that's the nature of his personality. So he was never gonna go that extra mile, and then when things got tense, then he was just gonna be like, fuck you, and then spin it that way.
And is he so enamored by Dan's fake bullshit? Because I know you've tried to tell him that Dan, I mean, we know Dan is not being legit and serious. I mean, he's obviously just, I don't know if he's trolling him, but he's definitely doing something for attention, because it's just like nothing seems sincere. Like, I mean, come on, you can like John and be friends with him, but telling him he's the living, breathing embodiment of the American dream.
We legit, when I first heard that, I legit like burst into laughter. I mean, it did make me laugh.
I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna try to be careful about this because yes, I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I do think, and Dan wasn't saying this, I do think that John is a quintessential American divorced man that is his age and that likes to watch football and get drunk, and then is going to be stubborn about things when people call him out about any decisions he made his past life. I think it's a very normal American in that sense. With Dan, like, do you feel like we actually know what's going on in his head? Because I tried to ask him about it, and then he was so evasive in this particularly weird way where I was like, I don't even know what's going on with this guy. And
he does that not even just with you. I've noticed anytime people start to call him on like his motivations on different things, a lot of times he just leaves the stream. And
you would do that move where it's just like, because like
he did Kaylee, Will Heron, I think too.
Yes. Well, that Will Heron thing was similar to what I was about to bring up about the Kaylee thing, where it's like he'll go at someone in a one-on-one situation, and then they'll respond, and then he just shuts down immediately. Yeah. Then he leaves, or like he just can't.
The Will Heron thing was really interesting because Will's like a very jovial guy, and then you could see kind of the switch where Will's like he got serious, and then Dan eventually just leaves because he knew like this wasn't just joking around anymore.
He's got curiously thin skin in a one-on-one confrontation setting, considering when he's not one-on-one in a confrontation, he threatens people and like does shows just trolling people.
Yeah, well, I think it spoke volumes when you called him out about that. What was that guy, Patrick Tomlinson?
Mm-hmm.
And
there's some really dark stuff there.
And he seemed to be dancing around it. And he's like, oh, well, it was me and 60 other people. Yeah, but why you're a grown up? Why are you a part of a group of 60 harassing some man and torturing him?
And that's, to me, what I was trying to get at with John, which he didn't get, was like, when you assess the way Dan started behaving with John, where he's like, you're what did you say? He's an American hero or some shit like that. It's like, okay, well, either this guy is just like really like just pumped up and fired up about John. But then once you add the dimension of finding out about the Patrick Tomlinson thing, then it's just like, okay, then you're doing something wrong. But I think it's instrumental to think about his relationship with Chad Z, because he was like that with Chad. And then when Chad didn't like reciprocate it, he like lashed out at him, almost like in a cable guy, like attachment weird.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I mean, Chad, we know Chad's not the perfect, but John, it just seems as long as you're complimenting him, he doesn't care the context of it. Where I think probably Chad sniffed the bullshit and wouldn't go along with what Dan was doing. Like, cause you could see, like, if somebody came on here and told me that I'm the living, breathing embodiment of the American dream, I'd be long done right away. I'd be like, this person's fucking with me. But John's just like, yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah.
That's what I was trying to say to him too. And like, it's weird because like I've been accused of the same things that people say about Dan, but I would like to think that I never like was just like that.
Yeah, you don't say that stuff.
Right.
So, like,
but so it was an awkward situation where I was like, well, come on, John. Like, do you want to hear someone talk to you like that? But he did. Like, what do you think about this? Because this is what he said to me when I said that to him publicly and privately. Like, for him, his argument is, look, I don't really have that many people like going to bat for me in this space, and I don't want to start fucking, peeling the few people that I have off. And when he said that to me, I was like, well, I do understand that, but then there was a part of me that still felt like, well, this guy might be like trying to ruin your life, and you don't realize it. But I don't know that. I still don't know what Dan's whole.
That's what I actually thought about the situation, because I was like, I actually do believe that you are friends with John, and that's like sincere. And I get the idea of like, okay, there's not many allies there, so let's not get rid of who's around. But if like it's clear that the guy is like either trolling for whatever reason, whatever his payoff is that really being a friend to John to keep someone around who's not actually there to be on John's side?
Right. And look, I mean, I don't know if you saw that when I really went there, like, and John just yelled at me the whole time, but like I tried to really be like, there's an analogy here where you're Patrick Tomlinson and just John was not.
Yeah. I mean, he's like, and he thinks Dan is like the greatest guy. I mean, maybe if you would have given John your what's the password he gave him, the
right,
because
HBO Plus or whatever it was. I think it was.
That was a big argument. Dan gave him his
baseball game or something.
Yeah.
No, and I think like I'm not speaking out of school. It's like, I think when John's reflected about it, I wonder if he feels the same way about Dan. But like in those moments, yeah, I always end up like reflexively defending him in situations like that, because he really just I've just been there with him where everyone is just attacking him every second and just like relitigating every thing he's ever done in his life. And so I always have like a soft spot in those situations, but I don't understand how you could I would never trust someone personally that just sat there and complimented me.
You
know what I mean? Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't think that's, it's not normal.
And hey, Adam.
Hey, Dirty Rat.
Dirty Rat's a good boy. He is. Check him out on the YouTube channel.